News Radio 1300 KKOL brings you local real estate and finance expert Nick Neal, along with author and radio personality Shelley Dudley. They're here each week to bring you the honest truth about the Puget Sound real estate market. So now, here are Nick Neal and Shelley Dudley.
Hi friends, in Seattle, on the peninsula, the east side, on the north end, and in the South Sound area. I hope you're having a great Saturday. I'm Shelley Dudley, and my co-host Nick Neal is in Las Vegas on business this week. Our listeners can't see me, but I am wearing a hard hat today in honor of my guest. We have today Debbie Goetz from the Seattle Office of Emergency Management. And she is going to talk to us today about disaster preparedness. So welcome, Debbie. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
One of the things that we're here to talk about today specifically is earthquakes. What does your office do in regard to that? How does your office come into play?
We do, my area, I do a lot of education and training. And so day, night, and weekends, that is what I'm out doing. I'm out in our community, and we are doing all kinds of different training workshops and just sharing knowledge and information. How can people be self-sufficient? How can they be resourceful? What can they do? What are the safe actions that we want to kind of implant in their brains ahead of time so that they do take the right action and keep themselves safe?
Well, it seems like here in Washington State, the earthquakes that we get are not near so bad as they are in California. They're just like little tremors. So do people really need to be prepared in Washington?
Yes, they do need to be prepared here in Washington. I was sharing with one of your staff. We actually get about 1,000 earthquakes a year here in our Puget Sound area. Most of the time, you do not feel them. Every once in a while, they'll get up to about a 4.0. It needs to be about a 4.0 before you can really feel it. You really don't see damage until about a 5.0 magnitude. That is what some of the automatic shutoff valves are calibrated to on the natural gas meter.
What is the best way for our listeners to be prepared? If they happen to be home at the time that an earthquake occurs, what should they do?
First thing to do is take a quake-safe action. No running around, no running out of the building. What we really want people to do, if you're inside, stay inside. Get underneath a table, a desk, or a countertop, and cover your head and neck. And stay under there as long as you feel the shaking and every time you feel the shaking. So we call that drop, cover, and hold on. You want to stay away from the windows because the house will shake, the windows will break. So stay away from windows, but stay toward the interior. And a hallway is a great place to be. Just kind of get your back against the wall, bottom down, cover your head and neck. Get into the corner of a room, another good place to be. Get against a supporting column somewhere in your home. Get against a piece of furniture like a couch. Just go ahead and lie down the long way. So those give you some different options right in your own home. So that's one thing that you can do is we can give homework. So when people get home today, check through the rooms of your home and find your earthquake safe spots.
And maybe even practice, have a family drill.
Absolutely. We say if you're gonna do this, give yourself 3 to 4 seconds to get somewhere safe and then ride it out. So tonight, have dinner at the table and have dessert underneath the table. Make it fun. Make it fun. Incorporate your drill.
Okay, so now a person who's panicked may initially think of running in panic.
Exactly,
and
yes.
they may want to just like go outside and think that they're getting to safety that way. Why is that not the best course of action?
Not the best course of action because things are falling and things are moving, and it's really tough to run, walk, or to keep yourself from breaking a leg when the ground is moving like a trampoline. Mm-hmm. Very difficult to walk. So chances are you're going to sprain an ankle and or break a leg. What in the world is coming next? So having good expectations, having some preparedness, those are the tools that we want everyone to have.
Because then you're better prepared.
Absolutely. You know what to expect.
So what are some of the elements of that plan? What should that be? I mean, there are many things to plan for, not just during the earthquake, but I would assume probably after the earthquake as well?
Sure, all phases, before, during, and after. But I think one of the most critical pieces is communication. And that's where everybody's heads and hearts go after something unexpected is, where's my family? How are we doing? How soon do I get to see them again? What shape are they in? Hopefully everyone is okay. So making a family communication plan, really critical. And so a few different ways to do that. We are What we're seeing in disasters here in the United States as well as around the world, how are families staying in touch? It is texting, tweeting, Skyping, posting, blogging, all of the social media that we have with us today. Day of disaster, yay, that's to our benefit.
Yes.
It is a capacity issue. So we saw in the Seahawks victory parade when there were several 100,000 people packing downtown Seattle, all taking selfies, the capacity of the cell system actually went down. And we do expect something like that, same thing in a large regional disaster. There is a capacity there that the system can only take so much. But what we have noticed is texting is a better way to stay in touch with family members. Not a guarantee, but texting is something that you want to be able to do. So here's what I tell my audiences. If you don't know how to text today, please talk to a 10-year-old and have them teach you, because texting is a tool that you want to have day of disaster.
So a text is more likely to get through than
more
a phone
likely
call.
to get through because of capacity. It goes through in a little bundle or that little packet, and it can look for some of those breaks between your two phones. Whereas when you're wanting to talk person to person, especially from a cell phone, you have to have a closed circuit between your two phones. So it takes more capacity in the system.
So now we've talked about the importance of communication. We've talked about preparedness during an event. But what about after the event? Would you recommend, for example, food storage, or what other ways can a person be prepared for an emergency event?
Yes, all of the above. It's everything you think. So
tell us a little bit about that.
What do you need afterwards? So really you want everything. We do something called the 2 hands of preparedness. Your first hand is all of your life safety essentials. Second hand is how you customize it for your own family needs and individual needs. So first hand is, number one, how do you keep yourself healthy and hydrated with water? So store emergency drinking water. You cannot store too much of it. You want to store it if you have pets, or if you have a medical condition, or if you take care of a family member. You want and need as much emergency drinking water as you can store. So store it, pick a system, maintain it. So that's number one. And then what are those things that you need to keep you warm, fed, and dry? So that's where the food comes in, the blankets come in, the tarps come in. What are all those things? The shoes, the gloves. Protect yourself from the elements. Keep yourself warm, fed, and dry. And then the last essential item is, what is your safe light source? We may not have electricity for a while, and we're saying typically 7 to 10 days at could be worst case. So have a safe light source. No candles allowed after an earthquake because of aftershocks. You don't want to survive an earthquake only to burn down your home afterwards with an open flame. So flashlights, lanterns, lots of extra batteries, light sticks, have a way to keep the light going. So that's all of your essentials that way. And then your second hand is how you customize for yourself. And so just very quickly, the first finger on the next hand is medication. So medication and health. So how do you take care of yourself if you are on prescription meds and now there's no running water, there's no refrigeration, there's no electricity? How does that change your planning?
You can't exactly get down to the pharmacist either.
Exactly, and don't expect that pharmacies will be open in the first 3, 5, 7 days. So store some emergency medication. 7 to 10 is our minimum that we want people to be able to store. Some medication and health, and then the other rest of the kit is information internal to you. That's your emergency contact, as well as external, like radio. So have a way to tune into radio with lots of extra batteries. And then medication, information, quirks, comforts, connections is how we fill that out. And what we say quirks are the things unique to you.
So if my 2-year-old is going to panic if she doesn't have her teddy bear, then I need to make sure that
Definitely,
Teddy is...
Yep, because you know your family best, you know your needs best, and you want to be able to customize so that you have those really critical items. And I like to say, if you're the crankiest person in the world with chapped lips or cold feet, for the sake of the rest of us, store some chapstick or an extra pair of socks in your kit. We will appreciate it. So here we are in the Seattle Emergency Operations Center, and this is where we have representatives from all of our city departments as well as regional partners come together to make good decisions about very complex problems. We have about 150 responders who can come in here. These are folks who are tapped by their department because they have the level of knowledge and critical decision making necessary to act on their department's behalf.
So as we can see, the room's pretty empty right now. Seattle's pretty quiet place today. Beautiful sunny day.
Yes, it is today, but in a moment's notice we can certainly stand this place up, and within about 30 minutes, we can really be rolling and rocking, and the decision making begins. As well. So if you go to the seattle.gov website, and for emergency management, it's seattle.gov/emergency. And so those materials are available, very accessible to anyone online. Another great website is makeitthrough.org, and that is a regional campaign which is 8 counties all throughout our Puget Sound area, makeitthrough.org. And so all of the different emergency management offices are listed there, but there are short videos, there's different languages there, there's ways to create out-of-area contacts there, lists of what to put in your kit. So anything and everything, one-stop shop is on the Make It Through website. So great resource for your listeners. That's the whole preparedness thing, is we want people to be ready to be able to take care of themselves in their home, ideally. That's where most people want to be, and that's where we actually need them to stay, because as an emergency management office, there really won't be the ability or the resource to set up emergency sheltering for everyone who is here in our Puget Sound area. So we really, that's the importance of preparedness, is so that you can just take care of yourself and the people around you, wherever you are.
Wow, I can see why you were saying planning is essential, because these are a lot of things to think about. And obviously, if you wait until a disaster occurs, you're not going to be prepared. This is not possible to think of all these things in the middle of an emergency.
You'll be able to get through it. You will, because I think the resilience of the human spirit, you definitely will get through, but it will be a little bit, I don't know, I'm not even going to say easy. It'll be a little less chaotic when you have things thought out ahead of time.
Indeed. So what have I not asked you today that you would like our listeners to know? I'm putting you on the spot here.
See. I would say, I think it goes back to organizing with others. So we did talk about what you're doing individually and as a family. So now kind of share that wealth, share that joy, and now have the talk, not only with your family, have the talk with your neighbors. Find out what skills are right around you. And so who has first aid skills, who's been a nurse, a doctor, an EMT, a lifeguard, a wilderness explorer. Find out what's around you. I think it comes down to preparedness in general, of how you stay self-sufficient. And it is one of those things where we don't ask specifically, get ready for earthquake, get ready for landslide, get ready for flooding. We say, be all hazard. Be all hazard. And that's why the planning piece is so critical. We don't know what will come on next. We just know something will, and that's just kind of a part of life. There are unexpected things that happen to us. So we say, if you're ready for an earthquake, you're ready for many other types of disasters that can happen here.
About what you can do to be prepared for an earthquake, perhaps other disasters. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hide the sun until you pray. I'm a tornado.
program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.